In the dead of night, under 16,000 feet of freezing Pacific Ocean water, the CIA launched one of the most expensive and secretive missions in U.S. history to steal a sunken Soviet nuclear submarine without the world ever knowing. Billions of dollars, a fake mining ship, robotic claws the size of buildings, and a Cold War gamble so risky it could have sparked World War III if it failed. This wasn't just a mission, it was America's boldest underwater heist, and no one, not even the Soviets, saw it coming. This is the Cold War's most dangerous secret mission. Project Azorian. It's March 1968. A Soviet submarine called K-129 suddenly goes missing somewhere northwest of Hawaii, deep in the Pacific Ocean. No distress signal, no communication. One day it's out on patrol, and the next it's just gone. But here's the scary part. K-129 wasn't just any submarine. It was carrying nuclear missiles and top-secret launch codes. The Soviet Navy goes into full panic mode. They start a massive search operation, sending ships and aircraft across thousands of miles of ocean. But the Pacific is huge and deep. After weeks of searching, they find nothing. For them, it's over. The sub is gone, and so are the 98 men on board. But while the Soviets come up empty-handed, the CIA is secretly listening. The U.S. has a hidden underwater surveillance system called SOSUS. It's designed to track submarines using sound waves in the ocean, and around the same time the sub vanished, SOSUS picked up a strange underwater boom near Hawaii. The CIA believes that sound was K-129 exploding. Using that clue, the U.S. Navy sends out a secret mission with a deep-sea spy ship called USS Halibut. It has cameras and sensors built just for underwater recon, and after weeks of searching, they find it. Right there on the ocean floor, 16,000 feet deep, lies the broken wreck of the Soviet sub. And just like that, the CIA has eyes on a sunken nuclear submarine, one the Soviets never found. An impossible mission that had to leave no trace it ever happened. So now the CIA knows exactly where the Soviet sub is, sitting almost 5 kilometers, about 3 miles beneath the surface, deep in the Pacific Ocean. But here's the crazy part. Instead of just watching it, they decide to steal the whole thing. Yeah, not just grab a piece or snap some photos. They want to lift an entire sunken nuclear submarine from the ocean floor, secretly, without the Soviets or anyone else ever finding out. Why? Because if they can pull it off, they'll gain access to Soviet nuclear weapons, top secret launch codes, and possibly even insight into how their military operates. In the Cold War, that's priceless. But this mission isn't just risky, it's nearly impossible. No one has ever tried to recover something from that depth before, especially not something this massive and this dangerous. The pressure alone could crush a submarine like a soda can, and one wrong move, the wreck could collapse completely. Still, the CIA doesn't back down. They greenlight the mission and give it a name, Project Azorian. No spotlight, no recognition, no room for mistakes. Just a silent, high-stakes operation, buried deep beneath the ocean and deeper inside the Cold War. But the CIA is all in, because if they succeed, they don't just win intel, they make history. Now they needed a way to bring it up without anyone knowing. But there was a big problem. They couldn't just build a giant recovery ship out in the open. If anyone, the media, the public, or worst of all, the Soviets, saw what they were doing, the entire mission would be exposed. So the CIA came up with a smart plan: build the ship in plain sight, but give it a fake purpose. That's when the idea of a mining ship was born. They told the world that this huge ship was being built to collect rare minerals from the ocean floor, like manganese nodules. It sounded just crazy enough to be believable. But to make the lie even stronger, the CIA needed a big name behind it, someone the public would trust and the media wouldn't question. So they used the name of one of America's most mysterious billionaires, Howard Hughes. He was known for weird inventions, secret projects, and staying out of the spotlight. So when people heard his company was building a deep-sea mining ship called the Hughes Glomar Explorer, they didn't ask too many questions. It worked perfectly. The press focused on Hughes. The public thought it was just a wild business idea, and the Soviets had no clue what was really going on. But in reality, that ship wasn't made to mine anything. It was built for one mission only: to go into the middle of the Pacific and steal a Soviet nuclear submarine from 16,000 feet below. The CIA had their plan in place. They had the cover story with Howard Hughes' name attached. Now they needed a ship capable of pulling off the impossible, lifting a sunken Soviet submarine from 16,000 feet beneath the ocean. So they turned to Hughes' company company to build the Hughes Glomar Explorer. This wasn't just any ship. It was an ocean engineering marvel. The ship weighed a massive 63,000 tons and was designed to withstand the crushing pressures of the deep sea. But it wasn't just big. It was built for one purpose: to secretly raise the Soviet submarine from the ocean floor. The Hughes Glomar Explorer was equipped with advanced technology, things the world had never seen before. It had special claws designed to latch onto the wreck and slowly pull it up from the deep. It had a moon pool, an opening in the ship's hull that allowed the crew to work underwater, hidden from view. And it was equipped with state-of-the-art stabilization systems to keep everything steady, even in the roughest ocean conditions. But the cost of this insane operation? The Hughes Glomar Explorer came with a price tag of around $350 million. At the time, that was a fortune, and the CIA was betting everything on the success of this secret mission. Everything had to go perfectly, because if it didn't, the entire operation would be exposed, and the Soviets would have known exactly what the US was up to. And so, the Hughes Glomar Explorer was ready. In 1974, the mission kicked off. The Hughes Glomar Explorer was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and the submarine was sitting 5 kilometers, about 3 miles, beneath the surface. The stakes were high, and time was running out. The crew lowered the ship's giant claws into the deep, hoping to grab hold of the Soviet submarine. Slowly, they began pulling it up. It was working, but then disaster struck. As the submarine was being lifted, half of it broke off. The pressure of the deep ocean was too much. The giant claws couldn't hold it together. The ship continued to pull up the wreckage, but not everything made it. Some parts of the submarine were recovered, but how much of the top-secret technology did the CIA really get? How much of the submarine's critical information was lost forever? That's the mystery. The mission wasn't a total failure, but it wasn't a complete success either. What happened down there remains one of the biggest secrets of the Cold War. The mission had been a secret until it wasn't. In the early 1970s, the media caught wind of something big happening in the Pacific. The leaks started, and soon the world was asking, what was Project Azorian? What was the US doing out there in the ocean? The CIA had to respond, but they couldn't reveal the truth. The operation was classified, so they came up with the now famous line that would go down in history: "We can neither confirm nor deny." That became known as the Glomar response, and it would become a symbol of the CIA's secrecy. The public and the press were left in the dark, but the mystery had already caught fire. The world was buzzing, and people were talking about a mission so secret it was practically legendary. Eventually, Project Azorian became one of the most iconic chapters in Cold War history. It was a mix of daring ambition, incredible risk, and the kind of secrecy that makes governments and nations clash. Even today, people still debate how much of the submarine was really recovered, and how much was lost forever in the depths of the Pacific. But one thing's for sure: Project Azorian left its mark. It remains one of the Cold War's most mind-blowing, mysterious operations. We put in a lot of hard work, research, and editing to bring you these incredible historical mysteries. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more, make sure to subscribe to Unblinx and hit the notification bell, or you might miss out on our next mind-blowing deep dive into history's most mysterious secrets.